The easiest answer to help children with autism is to heal the gut and reduce inflammation. But where do you start? Thanks for joining me on this video where I'm going to share with you the highlights and action steps from the tidal wave of research pouring in from the likes of Harvard and Johns Hopkins medicine, revealing the quickest and most effective way to ease the symptoms of autism through what they're calling the second brain, aka the gut. My son was diagnosed shortly before his 3rd birthday, and the doctor said there was nothing I could do to help him. I saw his pain and refused to believe it. I dedicated all my time and resources researching and finding ways to help my son reach his potential. Recently, there's been a review of over 150 papers on autism and gut bacteria. The review highlights several studies showing that restoring a healthy balance in gut bacteria can ease the symptoms of autism. Here are the 3 reasons why. Number 1, your gut communicates directly with your brain. If you have an unhealthy gut, you'll have an unhealthy brain. Number 2, the majority of people with autism have a bacteria imbalance in their gut, which leads to toxins and pathogens entering their bloodstream, which creates a chronic inflammatory response inside of their body. Number 3, inflammation puts pressure on the brain and either intensifies or can create behaviors and symptoms of autism. It's important to understand that healing autism from the inside out begins with the gut, which is simply everything from the mouth down to the large intestines. Scientists from Harvard and Johns Hopkins have discovered that there's a dynamic communication between the gut and the brain. Let me explain. Have you ever felt nauseous before giving a speech? Ever had a gut feeling either to do or not to do something? Well, that's because there's a direct line of communication from your gut to your brain. Yes, your gut actually speaks to your brain and vice versa. In fact, the area of your brain that your gut communicates most with is responsible for things like mood, sociability, mental health, human connection, and a host of other variables affected by autism. Interestingly enough, it's estimated that 70 to 90% of people with autism also have gastro problems and issues related to their gut. There's been several studies conducted which have shown that the majority of people with autism have an imbalance of good and bad bacteria, specifically more bad than good. The excess bad bacteria inevitably leads to the overproduction of toxins, which weakens the lining of the intestine, making it permeable, which leads to what's known as leaky gut syndrome. Leaky gut syndrome simply means the intestinal lining, which is your gut's filter, has holes in it, allowing things like toxins, yeast, and undigested food and other dangerous pathogens into your bloodstream. The effects? Well, once those toxins, particles, and pathogens get into your bloodstream, it triggers the immune system to feel stress and danger. And as a response, the body goes into defense mode and becomes inflamed, which in turn puts pressure on the brain, which intensifies or can create behaviors and symptoms of autism. If there's nothing else you get from this, if autism is a fire, inflammation is gasoline. One Arizona State study revealed the results of chronic inflammation, and the parallels to the behaviors of autism is shocking. Here's what they found happen with inflammation. There was brain cell death and reduced brain cell formation. In other words, brain cells were dying and less brain cells were being formed. There was a reduction of the response and release of oxytocin, which is just the hormone responsible for social interaction and love and human connection. There was increased repetitive behaviors, hypersensitivity, and movement and coordination issues. Do any of those results and symptoms sound familiar? Yeah, and here's the kicker. In the same study, when they introduced probiotics and an anti-inflammatory diet to the test subjects, inflammation went down and virtually all the behaviors improved dramatically, and in some cases even went away. That's why it's critical to heal the gut and reduce the inflammation inside of our children with autism. So you're probably thinking, okay, I get it. So what can I do for my child? The best way to start is what I call the 2R protocol, which involves removing toxins and foods that cause issues and then help the body repair by providing nutrition and supplements that help heal the body. Step 1, remove all dietary irritants, including wheat, sugar, dairy, toxic pesticides, artificial sweeteners, and synthetic food dyes from your child's diet. The idea is to allow your child's body to function to the best of its ability without inflammation caused by food sensitivities and toxins. Trust me, I realize how challenging it is to change anything food-wise, especially with our kids. That said, I know firsthand it is possible and totally worth it. Step 2 is repair. Give your child nutrition and supplements that help your child's body heal itself. Your children will start to feel better and their behavior, sensitivities, focus, and emotional connections will improve. One of the easiest and simplest ways to heal the gut and reduce inflammation is to take a probiotic on a daily basis. Unfortunately, not all probiotics are created equal, and most don't make any difference at all. And trust me, I've tried them all, and eventually got so frustrated that I quit my job, hired some of the top chemists and botanists in the country, and developed a product called Revolutionary BioHeal, which is a 5-in-1 probiotic designed to help our children with autism. And you can read more about that by clicking the link. So in summary, in this video, we covered the gut-brain connection, how inflammation is the gasoline on the fire we call autism, and one simple action step that we can take in order to help your child. Remember, knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. So please start today. Again, just try the 2-hour protocol for 7 days and see if you notice a difference. Until we talk again, I wish you all the best.